Bonjour. Mishko Pognan Quain Adishnakas Mungdodem. Hi everybody. My name is Sandy Boucher. I'm Red Thunderbolt Woman of the Loon Clan and a proud member of Seine River First Nation in Northern Ontario. And I'm here once again as the facilitator of the Path Away from Lateral Violence. Empowerment is a word that my mom would probably call a $15 word. One of those fancy words that really doesn't have a lot of meaning. And truth be told, it's used so often that most people just disregard it. But in your homework this week, there's actually a quiz to help you determine not only your present empowerment level, but it'll point out for you where you can change things to increase how much power you feel you have over your life and your future. In Western society, praxis has been defined as the way to overcome internalized oppression and, in turn, lateral violence. It is definitely a $15 word, but what it describes is something most of us do, and the more often we do it, the better. Praxis describes the practice of looking at what happened, analyzing it, and learning from it. Not becoming cynical, but actually learning something useful so that you can be even more prepared in the future. The 6 solutions is a way to overcome internalized oppression that I've been teaching for years, and there's a copy of it in your homework. Basically, if you are an oppressed person, the more often you use these 6 solutions, the more you're going to overcome that background. You have to heal. You have to get together with other people who have experienced internalized oppression and talk about it. You have to act out against the oppression rather than against each other. You have to become an ally and be an ally to people who are fighting against internalized oppression. You have to take pride in your culture, which is totally contrary to the oppression that you're suffering from. You have to protect the children because they don't have the mental capacity to realize that what they hear may not be the truth. So we have to protect them. And last but not least, you have to speak up. When there's lateral violence, when there's any form of internalized oppression or oppression at all, you need to speak up so that we can break these chains. Now, there are Anishinaabe teachings to overcome oppression as well, and I'd be willing to bet whatever nation you belong to or whatever culture also has teachings. For example, my mom told me about the birth story, the fact that your value was gifted to you on the day you were born, and that no one can take that away from you unless you give them the power to. As a 10-year domestic abuse survivor, I know what it's like to hand the power for your value to someone else. The women you work with will have done the same thing. We need to remember that we were valuable before we met someone and will be valuable even after they're gone. The Anishinaabe feather teaching is another one of those empowering teachings that can help you overcome oppression and even internalized oppression. If you think of a feather, the bottom of it is wide. That's when we're young and we're making all these different decisions and going off in different directions. We're really not sure what we want to do. But as we age and mature and gain our wisdom, the feathers starts to come in. As we realize more and more things don't work for us, and we start focusing on what does, until we reach eldership, where we know exactly what our teachings mean and what our value is. Now, anyone who's ever attended one of my seminars knows that I teach people to realize they are awesome. And that's because the word awesome is another amazing acronym. Look at the letters. A, you're amazing. W, a warrior. E, embarking on a journey that is S, specific to you. O, and only you. M, one that will motivate you. And E, empower you to be everything you're meant to be. Your journey is different from your siblings, from your parents, and from your children's because it's meant to be. You are unique, one of a kind. Your combination of cells and DNA has never existed before and will never exist again. But our teachings say you're needed here and now. You're a puzzle piece needed in your family, in your relationships, and in your community, which is why you've been born in this time. You are needed and you are awesome. Finding and using our voices is a very important part of stage 3, but we have to make sure to use them in the right way. In the words of my dear friend, Chief Tony Alexis, know your intent. Before you open your mouth, before you say a word, ask yourself why you want to speak. If you're speaking just to prove your value, well, that's insecurity, and it's probably not going to help the situation. If you're using your voice to criticize, condemn, or inflict harm, that's part of the history we're trying to overcome, so please think twice. But if you're speaking to offer guidance, encouragement, support, if you're helping someone to find a solution or you have a solution, please use your voice. A huge part of your empowerment will be you choosing to share your opinion. Not because you want everyone else to agree with you, but because it's the way you feel. It shouldn't matter whether they agree with you or not. Listen to what they have to say, but then share your opinion as well. Remember, you are a key puzzle piece. One of my teachings says when 4 people come together around a table, or 8 or 10, they all have a different perspective. They all carry different wisdom. The only way for everyone in the group to benefit from all the wisdom in the room is for each person to share their opinion. In other words, what I'm asking is for you to give what you wish you had received. If we're going to break these chains, if we're going to find a way out of lateral violence and oppression, we have to start supporting each other, encouraging each other, and listening to each other, not with judgment, but with respect for that person's journey and that person's words. And if that isn't the treatment you receive, in the words of my mom, teach them how to treat you. Show them how to do it by treating others that way. We all want to respect the people who show us respect. I'm going to leave you with yet another reminder to use the 4 sacred tools. First off, be patient with yourself and with other people, with your colleagues, your co-workers, your family members, and the women you serve. We're all trying to find a new healthy way, and most of the people you work with have never had an example of a healthier way. Just because they're laterally violent towards you is not an excuse. Show them kindness. Listen to their frustration. Remember that they are only doing what they've been taught. Teach them a new way. Don't follow, lead. And if it doesn't work today, just be patient and try again tomorrow. Be aware. Aware of our history, aware of our challenges, aware of the struggles of the people you work with, colleagues, and the women you serve. Be aware what's going on in your life. Make sure what you're bringing to work is healthy and supportive and encouraging. And if you need time to step back, ask for it. Use your voice. Because awareness is something we all need to do more of. Tenacity, the $15 word that just means don't give up. This is the reason you're here, to be part of the change, to be part of the healing, to be the bridge from the challenging past to our future that our children can actually enjoy. Help the people you work with. Help the people you serve. Don't give up. And always, always, always act with humility. To believe that you know better than everyone else is part of the problem. With the gift comes responsibility. If you know more, share it. Not in a I know everything condescending tone, but in a guiding, mentoring tone. Together is how we get out of this, and we don't get away from this past by criticizing and judging each other, because that's lateral violence, and that's what we want to end. We do that by staying humble. And we have completed stage 3. Next week, we look at the final stage, stage 4 of the path for the healing. Don't forget to do your homework. Until next week, I love you. Bye-bye.